Good morning, children. Now let us continue with the second lesson of the second semester, that is motion and measurement of distances. Yesterday I had taken this lesson and we studied about the different modes of transport are used to go from one place to another. So what are those? This thing: bicycle, then by bus, by train, by aeroplane, by ship, by the bullock carts. So like this we studied about the modes of transportation. Now then we had studied about the invention of the wheel, which made a great change in the modes of transport. Then in the 19th century, the invention of the steam engine led to the development of new means of transport, that is railroads were made for the steam engine to carry the goods from one place to another. Then I had given you, then we had measured the length of the desk with the gilli and danda. Then measuring the length of the desk with a different set of gilli and danda, not the same, different set. Then we had measured the length of the desk with the string lengths, isn't it? Then I had given you one activity, some measurement, that is you had to measure the length and breadth of your room, I said. So hope everyone has done this activity. You can write that activity. Let us discuss now this activity as well as the next activity. So now today's lesson, let us start with the second activity. What is that second activity is? You have work in group and each of you see your hand span as a unit to measure the width of a table or a desk in the classroom. So instead of in the group, you can do by yourself individually. You sit on the table and study, isn't it? So now that length you have to measure the width as width of the table or the desk in the classroom. Whatever it is in your study room table, you can measure it. So you need string lengths equal to your hand span. So you might have seen Sutli what they tell, no? That also can be used to measure the length as well as the hand span. So this is called here the hand span. Can you see here? This is hand span. To make the measurement, so record all the observations in the table 10.2. Then who measured the width of the table and number of hand spans? This is given in the table here. So now supposing you have measured, you write your name and how many hand spans you measured for your table, you have to write it down. Next, supposing another person has done, or your sister or your brother, younger to you or elder to you, might have measured it. Ask them to measure it using the hand span. So what happens now here? You may find that you need a string length. I told you how to take that also. Length equal to the hand span, and then the fractions of this string length to make the measurement. So not only with the hand span, with the string you have to measure the length or width of the table or the desk. What do we see here? Measurement. What do you mean by measurement now? First of all, here measurement means comparison of an unknown quantity with some known quantity. So what is measurement? Measurement is nothing but comparison of unknown quantity with some known quantity. So this is a fixed quantity, is called as a unit. So this is called a unit. So first of all, what is the meaning of measurement? Measurement means comparison of an unknown quantity which you doesn't know how much it is with the known quantity. Then the fixed quantity is called as the unit. So there's a difference between measurement as well as the unit. Unknown to known is called as measurement and the fixed quantity is called as a unit. So now whatever we measured is expressed in two parts. One part is a number, the other part is the unit of measurement. So whatever we measure, it has it can be expressed in two parts. So one part is a number, the other part is the unit of measurement. For example, if in activity 1, so yesterday I had given you activity 1, isn't it? In that what you had to do? Length of the classroom as well as the width of the classroom, like this. See here, this is yesterday's activity 1. So the length of the room is found, supposing you have found, and the length is to be 12 lengths. So here you have to write it as 12 length of your foot, isn't it? Yesterday I told you to measure with the help of foot. Today we are measuring with the help of hand span. So now here 12 is a number and foot length is the unit selected for the measurement. So now did you understand? Now supposing you are writing here 12, name of the student, length of the classroom is 12 length. Okay, so now 12 length means 12 is number and length is the unit, or the foot length is the unit selected for the measurement. Which unit we have selected here? Foot, isn't it? To measure the length of your room we have selected the foot. Now we have to study all the measurements recorded in the table 10.2 as well as 10.1. So yesterday you had done 10.1. Hope everyone has done it, isn't it? Now let us compare what it is. And 10.2 today we are going to do it. So now whether all the measurements for the room using your everybody's foot is equal. So when I told you yesterday to measure with the help of foot, isn't it? So did you find that your foot as well as whoever, your sister, brother, whoever has done, are they the same number of foots are there? Or there is a difference? Actually there will be a difference, it won't be same. Are everybody's measurement by hand span of the width of the table equal? The result could be different. Why it will be different? As the length of your hand span and that of your friends may not be same. So today we have measured with the help of hand span. So the same thing with the foot also. Your hand may be small or your brother's hand may be big or sister's hand. So like this there will be a difference in the measurement. So did you follow now? Okay. The length of the foot may be slightly different for all the students. Yeah, some will be short, some will be tall. So it depends on your foot. When you are short, your foot length also will be small. When you are tall, then your foot length also will be big. Therefore, when you tell your measurement using the hand span or the length of a foot as the unit to others, they will not be able to understand how big the actual length is. So unless they know the length of your hand span or the foot. Now usually while playing also that gilli danda and all I told you all, isn't it? That also you can measure with the help of foot also and with the help of hand span also. You might have seen people on the road playing near our school and all. They measure it using the hand span also. So we therefore see that some standard units of measurement are needed. So now like this what happens? Everyone will get different readings or different number of length will be completely different from each other. So what happens? There should be a definite unit of measurement to measure, isn't it? So that we'll know the exact quantity that do not change from person to person. Here it is changing from person to person. With the help of foot when we measured, with the help of hand span when we measured, no, we are getting different length as well as the width. So to avoid this, what we have to do is we should have a definite unit of measurement is needed, so that there won't be change from one person to the another. Okay, this is about the activity 2. So now can you tell me what is a unit and what is a measurement? So measurement means comparison of an unknown quantity with some known quantity. This known fixed quantity is called as the unit. The result of the measurement is expressed in two parts. One part is a number, the other part is the unit of measurement. So now if in activity 1 the length of the room is found to be 12 of your foot, then 12 is a number and foot length is the unit selected for the measurement. Okay. Now next let us continue with the standard units of measurement to avoid the different units. So now there is a particular standard unit of measurement. So in the ancient times what they were doing, the people used to measure with the length and all with the help of a foot, and the width with a finger, and the distance of a step were commonly used as the different units of measurements. So here in the ancient time what people were using, they were using the length of a foot, then they were using the width of a finger and the distance of a step. These were commonly used as the units of measurement. Then people of the other Indus Valley civilization, what did they use? They used very good measurement of length, because we can see in them evidence in the excavations of perfectly geometrical constructions. Means what here? We can, with the help of scale and all, we can measure the exact length of the particular thing. So like this, those people started that. Good measurements of length was started by the Indus Valley civilization. Then a cubit, as the length from the elbow to your fingertips, was used in ancient Egypt, and this also was accepted as a unit of length in other parts of the world. So first in India it started with the length of foot, width of the finger, then the distance of a step. These were used as common units. Then Indus Valley civilization people, they started measurement of the length with the perfectly geometrical constructions. Then Egypt, these people, what did they do? They accepted the unit of finger. They started the length from the elbow to the fingertips was used in the ancient Egypt, and this also was accepted as a unit of length in the other parts of the world. So like this, different people started using different units of measurement for measuring the length. Then people also use the foot as a unit of length in different parts of the world. Then already in India it was there this. Then other people also started using the foot as a unit of length. Then the length of the foot used varied slightly from one region to another. So this what happened, there was a lot of difference. I told you as we did the activity 10.1 and 10.2, no, how there was a difference, isn't it, in the for the foot length as well as the hand span. So like this, there was a lot of difference from one region to the another. Then again next, people, what did they do? They again started a yard. Yard means one like this thing will be the stick. With that they used to measure the cloth by the distance between the end of the outstretched arm and their chin. You might have seen your parents measuring with the elbow till the forearm. Like this they used to measure the cloth. Then the Romans, they measured with the pace of steps. They also started with the steps to measure the length. Then after that, in ancient India, small length measurements were used where an angul, that is finger. So then the people started using the fingers to measure the things, or fist, muthi they say, isn't it? That they started. Even today we can see, so like this, where we can see muthi or where we can see the finger. You might have seen the flower seller, isn't it? How he comes, he'll come to sell from one house to another. In the morning he calls, you see. So, or near the bus stand and all, when you're buying the flowers, how do you buy the flowers? Mada they tell, isn't it? How they measure it? With the help of the forearm as a unit of length. For the garlands and all, for the puja and all, you will use, no, nowadays too much you are using. How do you use? One garland full will be there, isn't it? Either that will be garland, or they'll measure it with the forearm as a unit of length for garlands in many places in India. Even in Gulbarga you can see jasmine and all. When you buy the flowers, you see how much they give. They measure with their forearm like this. This is 1, this is 2, this is for 10 rupees, this is for 20 rupees. So 1 forearm will cost 10 rupees, 1 forearm. That much only flowers they give you. So like that they count and they tell the money to you. So many such body parts continue to be used as the unit of length. As they thought convenient, any part of the body they started continuing. First they were using the finger, then fist they used, then again they used the forearm, then they used the handspan, then they used the foot. So like this, all the parts of the body, most of the parts of the body were used to measure the length of the thing. So however, everyone's body parts could be slightly different sizes. Yeah, everyone has different sizes, isn't it? Though if they are same age also, there is a lot of difference. Some may be fat, some may be thin, some may be normal, like that. So many things will be there. So this had caused a lot of confusion for the measurement. So what did they do? In 1970, the French created a standard unit of measurement called the metric system. So at last, the French people, they created a standard unit of measurement called as the metric system. So then this metric system was started by the French. So why they started? For the sake of uniformity, as well as scientists all over the world have accepted this as a set of standard units of measurement. So not only the French people, but also to maintain the uniformity, as well as the scientists all over the world also accepted that there must be the standard units of measurement. The system of unit now used is known as the International System of Units, or SI units. So now this scientists as well as the French people, to avoid to make it uniform and all, they started only one unit of measurement, that is known as the International System of Unit, or in other words it is called as the SI unit. So the SI unit of length is, already you know how it is measured, in the meter, isn't it? The SI unit of length is meter. Meter, m. So what is the symbol for the meter? M. A meter scale is shown in the figure 10.6 in your textbook. I'll show you. Also shown in is 15 centimeter scale in your geometry box. So already you know what is geometry box, isn't it? What all will be there in the geometry box? You will have a compass, you will have a divider, you will have a set square, you will have protractor, all these things, and as well as you will have a scale and pencil also, isn't it? So then a meter scale, already you know, scale you have seen in the geometry box. So that was used to measure the length. Each meter, that is m, is divided into how many? 100 equal divisions. Already you might have learned all these things, isn't it? 1 meter is equal to how many centimeters? 100 centimeters. So each meter is divided into 100 equal divisions called centimeter. Again, each centimeter, this 1 centimeter is equal to how much? 10 millimeters. So it is equal to 10 millimeters. So here you can see 1 meter 100 centimeter, 1 centimeter 10 millimeter. So for measuring the large distances, meter is not a convenient unit. So to measure the distance, we cannot measure the distance with the help of meter. So for this was not convenient. So we define a larger unit of length, it is called as kilometer. So to cover the distance from one place to another, we don't call it as meter, we call it as kilometer. So how much kilometer is your house from school? So like this, usually it will be there, 1 kilometers, 2 kilometers, you tell it, isn't it? Like that. Some without kilometers, just nearby it will be, they can come by walk, they can go by walk. So here, for measuring larger distances, meter is not convenient unit. We define larger unit of length. It is called as a kilometer. So now 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters. So now what all we have learned? First we have learned the length is the SI unit of length is meter. Then we have studied that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. Then 1 centimeter is equal to 100 millimeters. Then 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters. All this you have learned in the maths classes, isn't it? Now still once again it's like revision for you. Now we can repeat all our measurement activities using a standard scale and measure in SI units. So now whatever we had measured using the foot, using the hand span, or using the fingers, or using the mutti, all these things we can measure with the help of the scale. And measure in which system? SI system, that is International System of Units. Then before we do that, we need to know the correct way of measuring the length and the distances. So before that, we should know how to measure exactly the correct way of measuring the length as well as the distance. Length is measured in meter, distance is measured in kilometers. This is the difference between length as well as the distance. Now, how to measure the correct measurement of the length? So, in our daily life, we use various types of measuring devices, isn't it? What all, from the morning till evening. Even this thing, how many glasses of water you have to drink it. You fill the water bottles, measure it, and drink the water, isn't it? Even the rice, when you take, there is a correct measurement for taking the rice and all, isn't it? Water, rice, milk, all these things are there. So in our daily life we use various types of measuring devices. First of all, we use the meter scale. So here this is a meter scale, you can see it in the picture. This is a meter scale. We use a meter scale for measuring the length. For what we use scale? For measuring the length. We had used the string, we had used the hand span to measure. Now this is a standard unit for measuring. So now a tailor uses a tape, whereas a cloth merchant uses a meter rod. You might have gone to the shops and seen this, no? They'll use the meter rod also will be there. Even the tape will be there to measure the cloth. For measuring the length of an object, you must choose a suitable device. You cannot measure the girth of a tree or the size of your chest using a meter scale. Yeah, you might have seen when they take the chest measurement and all, what they use the tape, isn't it? In the school you might have seen how they measure the chest. Or whenever you are buying the clothes, if you are not going along with your parents and your parents want to know your measurement, how they do? They use the tape, isn't it, for measuring the chest as well as all other things, for the sleeves, for the chest, for the length of the shirt or whatever it is, pant, shirt, like that. So measuring tape is more suitable for this. For small measurements such as length of your pencil, what you can use? It will be 15 centimeter. So you can use the scale which is there in the geometry box. So you might have seen on the scale, measurement will be there. From where it starts, do you know? From 0, not from 1. It starts from 0 to 15. If it is long scale, it may go up to 30 also. So in taking the measurement of the length, we need to take the care of the following. So what care must be taken for measuring the length? Let us see there. Everyone knows to take the measurement, but how to take exactly correct measurement? Let us see here. Okay. Now you can see in the picture here, method of placing the scale along the length to be measured. First one is correct, and this is the correct method, and which is the incorrect method. Let us see. So the first thing what you have to do here is place the scale in contact with the object like this. Now this is a box here. Can you see? You have to keep in contact with the object or the box along its length as shown in the figure 10.7. Like this you have to keep in contact. Then second one is, in some scales the ends may be broken. You may not be able to see the 0 mark clearly. So sometimes what happens in your scale, if the scale is new, it starts from 0. Now when you have used and all, no, sometimes the corners and all will be broken. So what you will do there, that time you cannot see the 0 mark. So in such cases you should avoid taking the measurements from 0 mark of the scale. So instead of taking from the 0 mark, what you have to do is you have to take from 1, but you have to take 1 centimeter more. So 0 to 1, whatever is remaining, that you can continue in the next number, you can write it. Taking the measurements from 0 mark of the scale, you can use any other full mark of the scale. Say 1.0 centimeter in the figure 10.8 in the B. Here this is 10.8 figure, and here how much centimeter it is? 1.0 centimeter. Then you must subtract the reading of this mark from the reading at the end. So what happens, in some scales the ends may be broken, I said you. So what, you may not be able to see the 0 mark also clearly. So what you have to do in such cases, you should avoid taking the measurement from 0 mark of the scale. So instead of that, you can see any other full mark of the scale. So then you must subtract the reading of this mark from the reading of the other end. For example, in figure 10.8b, the reading at the end is 1.0 centimeter and the other end it is 14.3 centimeter. So now in 10.1, this A figure, what was the length? 1.0 centimeter. Then here in the B, what did you get? 14.3. So now what you have to do, therefore the length of the object must be, which is bigger one? 14.3. So that must be subtracted from 1.0. So total how much you will get? 13.3 centimeter. So that scale measurement what you have taken is 13.3 centimeter. Then incorrect and B correct method of placing the scale with the broken edges. So if the edges are broken also, you can see it clearly in the figure here and mark it. Correct the position of the eye is also important for taking the measurement. So not only the scale should be important, even the eye is also, the correct position of the eye also is very important for taking the measurement. Your eye must be, where your eye must be? Okay. So here in the picture you can see here, this is incorrect method of measuring. This is the correct method of placing the scale with the broken edges. Now here this figure is there, A, B and C. Now in these three figures, which is the correct position of seeing the scale? B is the proper position of the eye for taking the reading of the scale. So where you sit at, you will be at the center, so that you can take the correct measurement. Supposing if you are taking from here, you see how do you feel, and if you are taking from right side, what is the difference, and from the left side. So correct position of the eye is also important for taking the measurement. Your eye must be exactly in front of the point where the measurement is to be taken, as it is shown in the figure 10.9. Position B is the correct position. I told you just now, B is the correct position of the eye. Note that from the position B, the reading is 7.5 centimeter. So here this B reading is correct. So what is the reading here taken on the scale? 7.5 centimeter. From position A and C, the readings may be different. So that is the thing. B is correct, and when you are near the scale to the left side or the right side, the readings may be different. Now here there is another activity number 3. So what it is? Measure the height of your classmate using the hand span and then by using the meter scale. For this you have to ask your classmate to stand with his back against a wall. So instead of your classmate, you can take your own brothers and sisters who are younger to you or elder to you and measure the height of your brother or cousin, whoever is there, you can measure it. So what you have to do is you have to measure the height. How you have to measure? Using the hand span, by using a meter scale. Then for this, ask your classmate to stand with his back against a wall. So already you know how they take the height. In school you might have seen how they go to the wall and stand there, and sir will be taking your measurement, isn't it? Make a mark on the wall exactly above his head. So on the wall they'll make a mark. Already scale will be there. In school we have a scale. That scale they see and write the reading. So now in the home what you have to do is, you have to take your brother or sister, whoever is near to the wall, and mark there. After that, now measure the distance from the floor to this mark on the wall with your hand span, and then with the meter scale. So first with the hand span, you know, in the activity 2 I have shown you. Activity 1 was with the foot. You have to measure the classroom, I said. Activity 2 was with the hand span. You have to measure the width of the table. Now this activity 3 is you have to measure the height of your classmate with the help of a hand span and then with the meter scale. Let all the other students measure their length in the similar way. Record all the observations in the table 10.3. So now here you can see. Here what is given? Measurement of height. So who measured the height? That means whether you have measured or your brother has measured for you, or whose you have measured, you write here. Height in hand span. So how many hand spans were there? You have to count and write. Then with the help of the scale, meter scale, with the centimeters, you have to count and write the height of that person. So here they have given 4, so that you will know how to measure the height of a person. So can you do this, children? Yeah, you all can do at home. You can record your observations. Let us discuss in the next class about your observations. How many hand spans you have measured in the height and in the centimeters. So now today what all we have studied is, we have studied about we have studied from the activity 2, that is measuring the width of a table using the hand span. Then we have studied about what is the difference between measurement and the unit. So what is measurement? Measurement is the comparison of a known quantity with the unknown quantity. Then what is a unit? Unit is a fixed quantity, is called as a unit. Then always the measurement is expressed in 2 parts. One part is the number, the other part is the unit of measurement. So in the activity 1 we had seen the length of the room. Supposing if it is 12 or if it might be 15 also. So 15 will be the number and the length will be the unit selected for the measurement. Then we have studied about the standard units of measurement. People were using different parts of the body or different things to measure the things. So after that only this French created a standard unit of measurement, that is called as the meter metric system. That was started by the French people. Then after that, to make it uniformity, scientists also accepted that there must be a standard unit of measurement, that is known as the SI unit or the International System of Unit. Then a meter scale was used from the geometry box to measure the length of a thing. Then each meter is divided into 100 equal divisions. So we studied that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. Then 1 centimeter is equal to 100 millimeters. Then 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters. Then we had studied how to correctly measure the length of a given thing using the scale. So we have to start always from the 0, and then when taking the measurement of the length, what we have to do? We have to place the scale in contact with the object as it is shown in the figure A. Then next, we had seen, supposing if the scale is broken, if it is not, 0 is not there, how to take the reading, correct reading from 1 and subtract it and get the exact reading. Then we had studied about the correct position of the eye for taking the measurement also is important. So always when you are taking the measurement, you have to, here 3 positions are given, middle, left and right. So always when you are in the center, then that position will give you the correct reading. You have to see from the center. Then another activity is given to you all. You have to do it. That is, you have to measure the height of your brothers or sister by using what? Handspan, and then by using the meter scale and fill this table. Okay. How do you do? You will mark on the wall exactly the height, and after that you will measure with the handspan as well as using the scale in centimeters, and you can write it. Okay. Now yesterday I had sent you PDF of this lesson. First part what I had completed, isn't it? Now this was the second part what I have completed. So now first lesson activity also I am giving along tomorrow, so you all can complete and keep it, file and keep it. Okay, I have shown you already on the online class. You have to write first the question and then you have to write your observations I told you. So children, please do it like that, file and keep it. And Saturday you will be having the slip test. Be prepared. Whatever PDF questions are given, no, you can learn those questions and keep it ready. So now today also questions will be given. See the video, read the lesson and answer the questions. Okay, hope everyone is reading at home and completing your work on time. Children, please do your work on time so that you will not have misunderstandings, what to write, what not to write, which lesson to write, and also clearly I have given the activity 1. So tomorrow again I will be giving you the activity to do for the second lesson, that is motion and the measurement of distances. Okay. Okay, let us continue in the next class. Thank you.